The most powerful country in the world is exerting the right to pluck any foreign citizen, put them in a supermax prison for the rest of their life, merely for publishing information that government doesn't like. That should terrify everyone. For me, and I think many journalists, this is the most important press freedom case in modern history. The legal process in the Assange case has been corrupted from the start. Assange's privileged conversations with his lawyers were spied on by the intelligence agency behind his prosecution, the CIA. They had enlisted UC Global, which was running security for the Ecuadorian embassy in London, to spy on Assange and set up cameras and to have a live feed coming from the Ecuadorian embassy. The chief magistrate in the case, Lady Arbuthnot, her husband is a Tory lord and ex-defence minister. Lady Arbuthnot has personally received financial benefits from partner organisations of the Foreign Office, which in 2018 called Assange a miserable little worm. Her son is vice president of an investment house which is heavily invested in a cybersecurity company set up by MI5 and GCHQ to stop data leaks. The Home Secretary that certified the initial US extradition request, Sajid Javid, had attended 6 secretive conferences with CIA, NSA officials, organised by a group who has published calls for Assange to be assassinated or taken down. We also revealed that Assange is one of only 2 people held in Belmarsh Maximum Security Prison for violating his bail conditions. Over 20% of the inmates are held for murder, and over 2/3 are held for violent offences, so it's completely irregular that Assange is even being held in that facility. The mainstream media's response to the Assange case has been pitiful. We at Declassified have published 8 investigations now highlighting irregularities, conflicts of interest and all sorts of worrying developments in this case. Not one has been picked up by the mainstream media. Most mainstream journalists do not see their role as challenging power. They're an accessory to power. Particularly egregious has been The Guardian. They benefited hugely from the early WikiLeaks releases and from Assange's personal bravery. The Guardian, in fact, covered the Amber Heard-Johnny Depp trial more than it covered the Julian Assange trial. That is just a symptom of a wider malaise amongst the mainstream media who do not seem to understand that this is a threat to them. For them, Assange is someone different. He's a hacker, he's a computer scientist, he's not a journalist, when in fact, of course he is a journalist. He revealed more war crimes and more criminal action by the most powerful country in the world than any journalist has ever done in history. There's no reason this stops with Assange. Assange is being prosecuted mainly under the Espionage Act for things that national security reporters do every day. Talk to sources and get leaks which expose wrongdoing by powerful states. This case criminalises that. He would be the only journalist or publisher in the Colorado Supermax where he would go.
It's closed off to the rest of the world. Inside, the most dangerous inmates are sealed off.
You're designing it so the inmates can't see the sky, intentionally.
He would spend 23 hours of his day in what is being called a concrete coffin. He'd be allowed out 1 hour a day, shackled, and would have no human contact at all, effectively solitary confinement. What Julian Assange did was actually live up to the ideals that journalism should be about. It's about revealing the criminality of the people who act in our name, and he did it repeatedly and on a scale which had never been done before. There's been 10 years of the most powerful intelligence agencies in the world, in alliance with the media, destroying this man's reputation, destroying every part of his personality, and it's worked. He's an unpopular figure, but the point is people need to delve under all the propaganda which is entrenched in our system and entrenched in the media and think about what he's done. He exposed war crimes. If we all learn from Assange and actually hold powerful corporations, powerful states to account and reveal their criminality, we might live in a democracy where we know what those who act in our name are really doing. Because at the moment we have a secret state with secret agencies doing things all over the world that no one knows about, and that is how they like it. They don't want us to know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, look at those dead bastards.
Someone like Assange upsets that whole system. But we should take his inspiration and expose them to the sunlight which they hate, but which is vital for a real democracy. For me, the great hope in the UK is the growing alternative media scene. The mainstream media is dying and we shouldn't lament its death. We should look to support new media, like Double Down News, like Declassified, which are actually exposing the powerful and revealing stories and narratives which you can't get in the mainstream. Join the future of journalism, join Double Down News on Patreon.